Hey guys, it's Internet Hulk from Team EnVyUs. Today I'm going to show you some tricks to play Winston. One neat trick you can do as Winston is you can use your shift, your jump, also to like do instant damage, especially on stairs. What you can do is like you can try to go in melee on them, and then you just press your jump and you instantly land. So you have like some really nice instant 50 damage burst on them. Also one thing, you can jump differently. If you see what I'm doing right now, if I just hold my crosshair and just jump like this, it's not like a really good jump. But it also varies because usually you have speed buff or Lucian in your team. But if you don't, you can also jump very high and jump around corners. Hey guys, I'm Internet Hulk, and that's how you play Winston.
That was Player Tips, presented by Republic of Gamers, and of course, Internet Hulk, ever so lovable. We are going to see Internet Hulk and his team go up against Cloud9, who we just saw take out Method. It's going to be an incredible matchup, but you know, I think before we hop into just exactly what EnVyUs is, I want to know a little bit about their history with Cloud9. So can you give me some context on that, Chris?
Well, as ZP said, that could be the Yankees versus Red Sox. There's a lot of rivalries, but this is one of the biggest in the history of Overwatch. Of course, you have the captain, Internet Hulk. We saw him in that video. So cute, the little baby Winston slamming his chest. But overall, I just want to highlight him as the leader of this team. You know, he's a little bit older, and a lot of captains have that kind of mentality and that age to back them up. We talked about Rafa earlier, and it honestly could come back from their just background in general. And he's doing a great job so far this tournament, but the person to really watch out for is Taimu. You see him on the screen right now from earlier clips, getting a 4-kill, and especially on Reaper, we've been seeing a lot of nano boosts, a lot of support for them.
The thing to note about Taimu is that Taimu is a very patient player. There's a point where a lot of DPS players would go right in the face of people. Taimu is more than willing to either wait on a Reaper or hang back on a Roadhog, on McCree, and make you come to him. And if you don't go after him, he is going to pick your team apart from the back.
And why did Kai call him a clown?
I think it's just a friendly rivalry. I hope so,
Right.
at least. I don't want any bows being thrown.
All right, well, they can throw down in the match. That's the
civil way.
appropriate arena. Well, let's get into Cloud9. We just saw him play, but anything we should be aware of in this particular matchup, ZP?
In this particular matchup, I mean, it's interesting. Both these teams have a whole lot of experience with each other. I feel like from what we've seen from C9 over the past 2 days that EnVy is still playing a bit stronger than they are. But you never know. I mean, this is a case where, again, both teams know each other really well. And when you have teams that have played each other this much, have played each other in tournament finals more than I think I can count, probably more so than any other two-team combo in Overwatch. You never know what's going to happen if C9 can pull something out that's very specific to their experience with EnVy. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, they both have very evenly matched boot camps as well. We had C9 boot camping with FaZe actually at the Logitech Center, and then on top of that, we had EnVyUs boot camping with REUNITED. So both of them picked up strong European teams and said, hey, you know what? Let's make this something formal. I'll see you guys in the final, you'll see us in the finals. Let's just make this long-standing relationship. So both of them had great partners, but I have to agree to a certain point that EnVyUs just seem a little bit calmer. Then again, C9, they're a little bit more warmed up. You know, they've been in that hot seat for a little bit now, and they're on a streak.
I will say this for C9. I do think that they have an Achilles heel, similar to what we saw with Method, where you take away Ultimate Weapon and Method has trouble. I think for C9, they are a lot more reliant on Cheer4 than EnVy is reliant on any individual one of their players. So for EnVy here, game plan-wise, if they can take away Cheer4 a bit and make Reaver beat them, for example, I think it's actually going to be pretty difficult here for C9.
All right, I want the quick pro player perspective on this, Chris, because Cloud9 just came off a hot match, a really stressful match, and they don't even get up to, they got to go to the bathroom and like towel off the sweat, and then they have to sit right back down. Would you rather go into a match hot like that, or would you rather be in EnVy's position?
I would rather be hot. I would rather come off a win, come off from being set up. You know, they already got all their gear. They're ready to go. That's a lot better for me than being cold, not knowing, you know, you got to come here, you got to adjust the tables. It's kind of like if you're a tennis player and you got to play on a clay court and you're not used to it, or you're a football player and you're used to playing on regular grass, and then you go to a different stadium and you got to play on AstroTurf. They just might not be quite as comfortable, but all in all, I think they're going to be playing fairly even. They're both professional teams. They've done this before. I expect the best.
All right, well, let's see how Taimu feels going into this match. Malik caught up with him just before. Let's see what he had to say.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Taimu. Dude, you've been streamrolling the competition. How are you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling fine, thank you.
Yeah. Good, man, good. So going into today, what's the mindset like? How much did you guys practice last night? I remember when you were finished, you were like, man, I'm not going to go celebrate. I'm going to go home. I'm going to practice. How long were you guys up?
We practiced for 2.5 hours. Then we went back to the hotel, had a good food, some good food, and then just went to sleep.
I love how focused you guys are. All right, so going into today, you're going to face either Method or Cloud9. Which team would you rather see between the two of those?
We want to play Cloud9. They're our old rivals, and we want to like show them that we're the best.
Send them a message, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I like that. Well, man, you can get back to practicing. And on that note, we're going to send it back to the desk. Take it away, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Malik. I love the attitude of Taimu. We talked about it with Internet Hulk and how important that is to have a great attitude and keep your team going that way. I know Harry Hook's famous for that too. And Taimu as well. Now we're going to be going into, and guys, you see 5 maps here. That's because we are now playing best of 5s. Numbani, Route 66 in the mid, Watchpoint, Gibraltar, Hollywood, and Kings Row.
They're all payload maps or hybrids. That's the most surprising thing. I think that favors EnVyUs. Like, I hate to say it, but all in all, I feel like they just play those maps better.
It definitely favors Envy to some extent, although on the same note, you take a look at C9 and how they performed against Method. I don't think C9 wanted to go to any form of control maps whatsoever, given how strong Envy can be at that. And honestly, this is a very classic setup where both of these teams have the most experience in the game on these maps in North America. So if nothing else, there's nothing to worry about here about either team being underprepared. They've definitely played on this a lot, and we'll see how things go.
All right, well, as we get into this matchup, let's take a minute and meet our casters. They are global icons, and they are certainly national treasures. We have Goldenboy and Mr. X.
Oh my God, what is this?
Yeah. So every time, once she said national treasure, the immediately thing I thought about was like the Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah.
And then I see this.
Honestly, someone found that picture of me on the internet. That is incredible.
Just look at how serious and ridiculous I look, and then I think my face looks bad there. Yours is just like
I hate to say it, but I look like I just farted. Like that's like it's insane. By the way, also I just want to point out too, I'm glad that we're doing this interaction right now because one thing that we realize here is that ZP has the most villainous laugh I've ever heard in my life.
It's true.
It's like not only does he have a laptop that just is the size of Reinhardt,
you could fit
that
a full...
is an Asus Republic of Gamers laptop. Just so you know.
Okay, promotional man. Let's just calm it down here for a moment. Okay, but he also laughs like he's about to
I was sitting in the green room, and I thought Dr. Evil was directly behind me, and I turned around. It's like ZP slowly turns his head and faces us. I'm like, wow, that's a little creepy.
That's just
and he's holding it back.
Yeah, he's holding it back now, dude.
Too, man.
Got it.
You have to hear it one day. We gotta. If you're out there on the internet, just get some clips of ZP laughing. They have to be out there. Just put them all together. But this is exciting. We're pumped for this series. This is a huge one, right? I mean, the winner of this will move on to the next round. And I mean, honestly, I got to go with, are they listening? I got to go with Envy.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe pick. I mean, Envy has been so good. But I think, Cloud9 coming in hot, just they're going from match to match. I think that definitely has an advantage in their way.
Yeah, and also because, you said New York Yankees. So Envy are the New York Yankees here. Stro, I know you don't like that, but it's okay. You'll deal with it.
I was going to say, you can count on our former console casters to be all aboard the Envy train.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. She just got some revenge from yesterday.
Coming in hot.
Listen here, at least I didn't say Skrilla. Jeez.
All right, I'm going to reel you guys back in.
I'm sorry.
We're all friends here.
These guys are a little too excitable. We leave them there. And let's bring it back onto the maps here, because this is actually a huge important factor of the matchup. And it's a little hard to be serious, I know, with these guys. But this is all classic maps. How often have we seen these teams go head-to-head on these maps?
I mean, they're all original maps, right? They've been in there a long, long time. I would love to see some stats on that. That'd be amazing.
Honestly, I mean, it's a lot. That's the simple answer, a lot, because basically every tournament for about 3 to 4 months had these two teams facing off. They are super familiar with each other, and it goes back to Taimu's interview. They are rivals, and we'll get to see which one will come up on top right here.
It's funny, too, that he calls Taimu a clown when I've heard EnVyUs actually say Cloud9 instead of Cloud9. So a little bit of a rivalry. And no roster swaps, too. These two teams have stayed as they are for a very long time playing against each other.
All right, well, with all that history, this should inform your predictions quite well. ZP, start us off.
So predictions going in, I think you have to go to Envy just because of their recent track record. And it's one of those things where I don't know if it's going to be a 3-0. I'm going to say C9 will at least have a punch here at some point. But it's still 3-1 Envy for me.
So we're going to do the score thing, too, huh? Okay,
yeah,
this makes it up the ante a little bit. Yeah, all right, let's do... I'm going to say EnVyUs 3-0. 3-0.
Okay.
3-0.
Wow, yeah, I gotta go with my boys in blue. I gotta say, you know what? 3-1 feels pretty safe.
Okay.
We'll do 3-1, see how it goes. Guys, I'm gonna hand you back over to Goldenboy and Mr. X as we get into this match with EnVyUs and Cloud9.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rachel. We are super excited for this game here. And you know what? I don't do this a lot, Matt, but if there was one person I had to bestow the global icon, actually, I'll reel that one back, but the national treasure too. I'll do it for you because
Thank
I love you.
I haven't
okay?
gone global yet. It's
You haven't gone
unfortunate,
global.
yeah.
You're not quite like me, but it's okay. You'll get there one day. All right, folks. Guys, this is going to be a great series here. The winner moves on to the Americas final, where they will await our next the winner of our next matchup there. But all eyes are set on this one. As CP said before, it's going to be a classic between Cloud9 and Team EnVyUs. Matt, who are you looking forward to seeing here?
I mean, I think on the Envy side, I really want to see what Tailspin can do on that Pharah. And that's something we saw them use to great effect yesterday. We've seen it on at least his first point on Nubani, the Pharah Mercy combination.
Yeah, I love Tailspin's Pharah. I mean, I remember tuning in for like one of the first Gosu weeklies, seeing Envy play and just, you know, Hexagrams and ZP just going absolutely nuts because of just how amazing Tailspin's Pharah was. You watch streams of him do it, it's just so unbelievably cool. But anyway, here we go, folks. It's going to be the first engagement here. And, you know, again, what is going to be the approach for these two teams is what I'm wondering. Are they going to play to try and continue to build upon their ults? Or are they looking to just go in right away?
Well, with Envy's setup, you fully expect, you know, Internet Hulk kind of dive on the opponents. You know, with Tailspin on Pharah, he can knock them off of that top catwalk and really start to force some engagements on the point. You know, they do knock them down on the point, but you see Tailspin having a tough time connecting with any of these players. It's going to be Cloud9 holding here first.
And some good defense from Cloud9. They managed to stop this one. And of course, you know, you have to take in consideration these two teams know each other so well. So this first engagement was really just a feeling out period. And there's some advantages for both teams going into this entire series. For Cloud9, they just got off of a really tough series against Method. And for EnVyUs, they had a chance to watch what C9 was doing, how they were attacking, and really be able to develop a plan today even. So this overall is just an interesting situation. But here comes the Nano Boost. Internet Hulk, he is actually going to Hulk up, as a matter of fact. But Surefour looking for something, gets knocked out, finds him in the air. That was actually wonderful, and manages to clean out yet another one. Internet Hulk charges into Surefour, but not today. Shuts him down.
And Cloud9 starting out hot, and I think it's something that, you know, Huck talked about it a little bit, is, you know, they just played. As a player, you love to just go sit right back in your seat, get going. Envy, you know, you don't have the blood flowing in your system yet, no, the energy's not there, and sometimes like you just even like lose track of the moment, right? You sit down, you think it's another match, you don't realize how important it is until you actually get into it. It seems like they're going to change off of that Pharah Mercy combination. It's going to be Tailspin going for the Genji now.
And look at this Tailspin with that aggression. He gets right in their face, but he will not be able to stay alive long enough. And I love what Surefour is doing. You just have to be so cautious of what he could do, because if he creeps around the corner, chances are that's going to be, you know, you're going to be back on a respawn clock, basically.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his shot with McCree, I mean, his shot with everybody, right? I mean, we've seen him throughout the tournament. You know, Tracer, McCree, I mean, his accuracy is just so sick. And they actually have Reaver on Soldier. You don't see Soldier get a ton of love here in competitive. It's like the first or second time we've seen it here at this event.
Typically you see Soldier when, you know, like players need to get to a point quick enough here. There goes a Graviton Surge, but it's a smart play from Kai to get out of there and drop that detonation, and manages to take out Chips and Coco. So, and that actually sounds like a cereal, but good news there, though, that Cloud9 holds it down again.
And the Graviton never comes in because Kai eats it with the defense matrix, so that's actually a huge play. Gets rid of the Graviton and then connects with that D.Va ult, taking out two. So big plays there by Kai as Cloud9 is putting a very good defensive first half.
You know what I'm pumped to see here, Matt, is it's not going to happen just yet, but if Grego was able to get the Nano Boost, pair it with Reaver's Soldier, so that once he goes into his ult mode, then he can actually get those automatic shots and just do even more damage. But who knows, they may not even get a chance to do this here, because Coco and Tailspin managed to claim two, and this is looking to be a battle that could go in Envy's favor here. You do have, this is going to be Coco just whacking and swinging away, and that will be a clear. Cloud9 will take this, or EnVy will take this one. Cloud9 back to the drawing board they go.
And it's interesting, you know, when EnVy needed to get a break, they go to that triple tank lineup. You know, they tried it with Pharah Mercy, they tried it, you know, switching out Pharah for Genji, then getting Ana back. And now they're actually able to get control of that payload and start moving across the map. It'll be interesting to see if Cloud9 adjusts. And as soon as they say that, you can see Kai at the top of your screen switches to Mei. And Mei has been very effective against these tank-heavy lineups.
Ooh, all right, well, see how this works out now. Mei, as you mentioned to Matt, certainly is a hero that has done a lot of damage throughout the course of this competition. In Tailspin now, he's looking to just move in there and do something, anything, but Surefour just had his number and stops him right in his tracks. And meanwhile, you have EnVy continuing to push his payload though, and Chips is trying to work with Bionade, supporting his teammates, continuing to heal him out. And I like the disengage here. They're waiting for an opportunity. They have that chance, and here comes the nano boosted Coco. He pushes forward, finds one in front of him. That's going to be Surefour swinging away, throws down one, and this is going to be a good stop for EnVy. They just keep this payload moving forward.
And they are so good at disengaging. I think that's what really, when you watch EnVy, like when they go man down, they're able to, you know, Lucio speed boost out of these fights, stay alive, and then come back with a vengeance. And you see there the nano boosted Reinhardt opens things up, and they get to that next checkpoint. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get to this final checkpoint here on the first half of Numbani. It's that Taimu, he's going to have his Deadeye ready. You're going to have Harry Hook have that sound barrier on the side of Cloud9. You have that Earth Shatter, you have Surefour.
Look at Surefour.
With that Death Blossom, and you also have Kai. He's going to have the Blizzard. So let's see if they combo these.
Yeah, I want to see what Kai is going to do. Maybe even block him out and then allow Surefour to go in so he doesn't have to deal with like maybe some of the healers. Oh, that's going to be a Blizzard out here. He's waiting for the opportunity, but that's just going to zone him out nicely and force the members of EnVy to have to spread out of here. Internet Hulk's going to be in a bad spot, and Surefour is looking for that opportunity. Moves in, finds the Death Blossom, but gets put to sleep right away by that Sleep Dart from Ana, which is such a critical ability in her toolkit. And Taimu just wants to be able to pick off some of these support characters as well. They still keep this drive going. Overall, a pretty good run here for EnVy as they're looking to cross this next bend.
And coming off spawn, Cloud9, Adam's not going to have his sound barrier just yet. Very close to it, 80%. The side of EnVy, they do not have anything right now, so it's going to be a clean fight, no ultimates. Which I usually actually after like the first one, the first initial fight, you usually see ultimates in almost every team fight. This one, providing they go in for it right away, EnVy can just try and bait this out with the weapons.
The best you can hope for is that Chips is going to be able to get the nano boost here, and Adam for Cloud9 will be able to get the sound barrier, which it actually is going to happen, and this is going to keep them alive. So expect that sound barrier to come down here any second, and it does, just as I said it. Tailspin looking for something. They're continuing to put progress toward this payload here. Throws down the pulse bomb as the Reinhardts were distracted, but does not get the kill there. And you have Cloud9 just scattering EnVy. This is going very well for them. There's only going to be a couple members of EnVy left alive, and Cloud9 managed to fight this one off. Coco, he just goes right in there, but it won't matter. It'll be all for naught. With 45 seconds left on the clock here, EnVy, they have an opportunity to make a play. They have Taimu with the Deadeye, but you got to look at the other side. Kai's ultimate and Tibet's ultimate are just prime and ready to go.
Well, EnVy is going to have the nano boost to work with.
I
They're
just
going
saw
to have
that.
Taimu with the Deadeye, so you're going to have Internet Hulk getting very close to Graviton as well. Should have it here in just a second. So we'll see what they decide to combo. It's going to be Taimu first here. They're going to connect with one, and that's actually going to be a big kill as Grego Ana obviously able to do a lot of healing at range. Surefour is going to answer right back though, taking out Taimu, and Coco going big with that nano boosted Reinhardt by the payload. He's going to come up with 3. The Earth Shatter knocking Kai against the wall. And this one, EnVy looking like they're taking control.
They're going to have this one. They're just like less than a meter away. It's going to be overtime, but they do manage to get it. And I'm sure for them, they would have liked to have had time on the board there, because remember, folks, when you just have a little bit of time remaining, you actually do get a minute if it goes all the way to OT. But for EnVy, that's not going to be the case. They need to hope that Cloud9 burns out as much time. They're able to hold them off for the duration of the entire match.
And I think if you're Cloud9, you're actually pretty happy with that. I mean, you did a good job on the first point holding them. The second checkpoint, right, down that street's face, it got a little out of hand, right? I mean, EnVy got there pretty quick, but then your last hold was actually very good as well. So I think if you are Cloud9, you got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, your objective is to, one, of course, stop them from being able to get any points. But if that's not possible, stop them from being able to accrue or keep any time left so that they could use that into the, moving forward with the rounds because of the time bank system that is in these maps right now that's been implemented since then. So it has been an interesting matchup thus far. I have to say, though, Envy came out strong. Cloud9, though, I would tip my hat to them. They came out even stronger. Despite them giving up 3 points, I like them going into this attack.
And with how strong Envy has been kind of like historically in Overwatch this far, you got to think if Cloud9 can take this first map, puts a lot of pressure on Envy and whatnot. Cloud9, I mean, they just looked, they won in the last series against Method, but coming in hot here, winning that first map, it's got to give them a ton of confidence, put Envy, all the pressure on them going into map number 2.
Yeah, there's a lot to lose here for both teams. For Cloud9, it's a squad that has always just been right there, right at the cusp of greatness. They're a fantastic team and one of the best in the region, 100%. They're here, they're playing on this stage right now. They edged out Method, but they've always just had, I think I was talking to someone in the back, a dark cloud kind of hovering over them, and they just need to get over that, which they're very capable of doing. But for Envy, the big win has eluded them. Yeah, sure, you had this incredible streak, a streak that honestly was unheard of in most competitive games, where they just went undefeated for such a long time, and then Gamescom happens, and it just was like a completely different Envy there. So for both of these teams, there's a lot to prove.
Yeah, and it's going to be Cloud9 trying to take advantage of the high ground first. You see the May walls coming in from Envy, separating this Cloud9 team. They're going to have to figure out a way to fight through this, but it's going to be 2 kills, 1 from Tailspin, 1 from Taimu. It's going to put Cloud9 at a big disadvantage here. They should disengage.
I have to say, if I was Tibet right there and I got popped up in that wall because of the way that Tailspin pushed out the ice wall, I would have been like, holy crap, what is going on right now? I'm like so high up, but he was able to stand true for sure. So nothing happening as far as because we saw in the first round, right, where kills were going back and forth and being exchanged. For here, it really does seem like both teams just trying to take their time here. For Envy, they're going to allow Cloud9 to push forward and then take control of the situation. But for C9, they were waiting for that prime opportunity. Envy were able to read that really well, and I also just love the way players have been taking advantage of the May wall, the ice wall. Tailspin gets that high ground. Little things like that you just got to look out for when you're talking about this game.
Yeah, now Surefour is going to change over to Pharah. You're going to have Adam go over to Mercy. Obviously they're kind of like linked, right? Pharah and Mercy. Okay. When you want one, you want the other, and then Reaver is actually around the back on a little bit of a flank. Maybe he can just cause a distraction, get the guys on Envy to turn around, and maybe his teammates can pick up some kills in the front.
That's the thing that Tracer is so good at doing, being a pain in the neck in the back lines. And, luckily for Reaver, he is really, really good at that. And able to get out of that blizzard as well. So he might be able to stay to fight another day despite his team not having the best of luck. It would be nice if he's going to be able to get to them, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. He may just opt to either A, linger around, or just move into it. And Taimu there is just going to absolutely demolish Surefour. And also, you got to take note, Surefour did bust out that Pharah now, and we saw what he's capable of doing with Pharah on Temple.
And Reaver is still behind enemy lines as Tracer.
Really? Oh, yeah. There it is, because as we push forward the camera, I didn't see. I didn't know if maybe they just went back with his team quick enough, but that is quite impressive.
And if you're Envy, it's like, do you even put people back there to go try and chase them down? Do you focus on the front? I think you probably focus on the front. And then eventually Reaver is going to have to come back and help his team. You see he's going to get on the point. That's a nice hook there.
Or you hook her.
Yeah, or you do that. That's an easy way to take out Tracer. So that time it picks Reaver, but now Cloud9 is going to force a stall. They're going to have to wait. And you see Envy just building up these ults. I mean, it's just Tailspin without his Blizzard. Everyone else has their ultimates ready. Adam's going to get very close to a res for the next fight for Cloud9. You're going to have Grego with the nano boost. Tibet has the Earthshatter, then Kai has the Blizzard. So you think this is going to be an ultimate heavy fight?
I know that for Cloud9, they would have loved to have had Surefour with his ult primed and ready to go, but that just doesn't seem like it's going to happen here. Internet Hulk is actually going to get that nano boost, pushing forward, looking for one. This is going to be a good battle here for Envy. They managed to clear it, but Tibet and Surefour have other plans. The bet gets hooked there by Taimu, but now he has to just get back into the hallway there and not really concern himself too much with joining back into this fight. Maybe his objective is just staying alive. Of course, that's what I would be doing in this situation, trying to help the teammates out as best he possibly can. They need one more big attack. You have Surefour with your ult. You also have Adam with Resurrection. And don't forget, you also have Adam with Mercy, which means you have that Far Mercy combo that works in tandem together for the added strength. Let's see how this unfolds.
Yeah, they're going to have to get to the point fast as possible. They're going to do that with Tracer diving in, and you think Adam probably going to hide out, wait to use that res.
Here we go, folks. The action is going to get hot and heavy, but it's certainly going to be in the favor of Envy, as you're just going to have members dropping left and right, but there is going to be a huge res coming out there. That was going to be good for Adam. Reaver's able to get the kill on Coco, and Taimu's just going to see if he could work here, but gets tagged with the pulse bomb from Reaver, and now Cloud9, they're going to be on the offensive. Internet Hulk is in a bad position, decides to rage out there so that he can stay alive for as long as he could. Tailspin and Harry Hook working together, and they managed to win it out. And Envy with a massive, massive win there. That is going to give them the victory. So impressive.
Oh, and for a second there, you know, Adam gets that big res. You see Reaver pick up 2 big kills.
I had C9 all the way. I was just like, yeah, that looks like really good. Able to pick off 1 or 2, you know, start to make the Internet Hulk look like he was in a bad position. But you know what? Envy, the veterans of this squad, keeping themselves composed.
Yeah, they're just so good.
They really are. They really are. They're a fantastic team. Of course, for Cloud9, though, they're wondering, you know, what went wrong there. Here's the other thing, too, that honestly, I didn't even think I really even touched on. They held them at that first point for 4 minutes. Just nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, it's hard, right? When you try and take that high ground, you keep constantly getting walled off. But I know Roadhog with the hooks. I mean, you see Taimu here. Every time Surefour is up in the sky, trying to get anything going with Pharah, you saw the hooks come through. I mean, no, it's just silly.
That has to be front.
That one was so sick.
That was actually a really nasty hook. I mean, he had time. This was one of my favorites because you said it as though you're like, well, what do you do about Reaver? Do you just like let him hang out there? Do you, what do you do? And then Time's like, oh wait, X, I actually have an idea. I'm gonna hit him with the hook, the chain hook.
And I know Roadhog for a tank can just deal out so much damage.
I know.
Right? I mean, the scrap gun, your primary fire is going to be that shotgun. Secondary fire is going to be a little bit like medium, longer range. You're able to get some of their health back, right? You know, using that take a breather, and then the chain hook. I mean, you just bring those enemies in close. You just saw it there in the little highlight package we put together, but it's so effective just picking off targets.
And also keep in mind, too, Roadhog is a fat man, which means that he
has a lot of health.
He has a lot of health, but he's a presence on the map, right? He soaks up shots, and while he may not be like Reinhardt that has a shield, or Zarya who provides shields, maybe even D.Va that absorbs shots coming in her direction, Roadhog doesn't have any of that because the Hog don't need none of that. He only slays. That's what I like about Roadhog.
Yeah, when I solo queue, it's exclusively Roadhog.
I love playing Roadhog. I thought at first when the game first came out that he was going to be like one of my least played characters, and then I don't know, just one day I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, and I had so much fun.
It's
I never stopped.
Just so satisfying, like connecting on a hook on somebody.
Yes, especially when you connect on a support,
because you know what it feels like to get hooked, and it's just like rage-inducing. So when you do it to somebody else, like I don't know, I kind of love that. You know, the person on the other end is screaming, they're freaking out, and like when you just keep nailing the same like guy over and over again with it.
Yeah. Well, Surefour was the victim there.
I know, I was gonna say.
It's Taimu. One of my favorites, hooking Genjis, because you know Genjis always think they can get away, and then when you manage to catch them, they're pretty much done at that point because you hit them once and then you give them the swift melee.
Especially when they're going for your healers in the back, and like their back is turned towards you, and they think they have it, and then next thing you know, it's like
you just got hooked.
Yeah. Nope.
Love it, folks. Of course, we want to hear who are your favorite heroes in Overwatch, so make sure you let us know. Hashtag #OWOpen. Hopefully you guys are enjoying today's broadcast here because we're going to determine who will move on to Friday. That's right, folks. The finals will take place Friday, and they will go live on TBS. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. You know, I think that either of these teams could very well show up big time.
It's such a cool experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when we first got into esports, it was like there weren't even streams available at the time. It's like now it's like, oh, now we're on TV. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. You know, I
mean,
mean,
really cool.
and say, like, Ma, I made it. So map 2 is going to be Hollywood. And Matt, what are you expecting here? I'm pumped to see more May, right? I love the May play. That sounded funny, but I love the May play. You know, it's been great.
Well, EnVy really, you know, when they were on offense, they didn't really get anything going until they switched to those 3 tanks. I wonder if Cloud9 kind of expects those 3 tanks to come out at the beginning on Hollywood, and then maybe they bring out like a May, and they really try and, you know, split them off, get them, you know, away from each other. You know, maybe you just get a Reinhardt out there in front, you're able to take him out fast. Like, it's one thing to get that, like, May wall in and then split them, but it's like, I feel you got to kill that target in the front to really just stagger the push.
Yeah, you need to be able to capitalize on your opportunities. Of course, we'll see how all this unfolds. Players chatting strategy as they get ready for this next one. And we just had one doozy of a day here. NRG and Liquid kicked things off. We managed to cast that one, and my goodness, that went all the way to the end. It was tiebreaker city. NRG was able to take that one. You also had Method going up against Cloud9, yet another crazy series where Method was, you know, they really shined, and I think that they gained a lot of fans this weekend.
Yeah, Method was awesome. I mean, Snow, his hair is just absolutely ridiculous, but...
And Exy.
Yeah.
Gotta talk about Exy.
He's a great looking dude.
Yeah, no, we just can't
Great
deny
looking
it.
dude.
Can't deny it. But and then you saw the rest of the matches as well. NRG versus Fnatic will be coming up next, which, again, you know, every single game that these two teams play in, right? Fnatic, because of just the way that they approached the game. I was actually talking to Vonathil in the back, and we were discussing, like, you know, one of the reasons why I enjoyed casting them was because they are very much, like, just calculated. And he was basically like, yeah, well, because, like, we see no one else is doing that. We got to do that.
You know what I was going to say? It's like, it seems like, at least from watching it, right? And, you know, when you're casting it, you see all the action unfold. It's like, you get a different kind of feel when we went over Fnatic last night. Like, it was just like a little bit more patience, a little bit more structure to their play. It just like kind of seems like that when you watch them play versus some of the other teams. It just seems like they have everything down. Like, their just timings are so precise.
Well, another team that has some pretty good timings is EnVy, and that's why they're going to be up 1-0 in this series. If you're just joining us here, it's a best of 5, and we're going into game 2, which is going to be Hollywood. And oh, Hero of My Storm. That's clever.
I get it.
That is clever.
So I just lived in Hollywood, and it's unfortunate that it didn't look like this, man.
That it didn't look like the game.
No, I lived like right by the Hollywood sign too.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Game, much nicer.
Yeah. In game, pretty.
It's like I went up to the Hollywood sign. I'm like, man, this is old. But anyway, take a look at Cloud9. They're gonna be running that May. So Kai is gonna be on May, Surefour on the Reaper, and then Reaver on Roadhog. So those are gonna be the ones you're gonna look at that are really gonna take out these tanks from EnVy.
And for EnVy, though, look for Taimu on McCree. I'm pumped for that one. Tailspin, actually, now is going to take over for the Roadhog, and they're just going to go right into it. You see a lot of teams take different strategies. They like to go for the high ground. We saw it in the NRG series against Liquid. But for Tailspin and company, they say, you know what, we're just going to charge the gut. We're going to push right through and see if we can go ahead and assert our dominance right away.
Yeah, EnVy just loves to fight.
Oh, that was a beautiful hook. I didn't even think he was going to hit that, but that is going to be a huge loss there because Surefour, one of the main DPS players for Cloud9, certainly makes an impact. But I do like that Blizzard because it slows things down. Tailspin, though, still is able to stay alive. He is going to get nano boosted. You're also going to have Coco just putting up that presence right by the payload and on the point. Can they do this is the question. It seems like C9 was gunning for them, but I think this is very much going to be C9 conceding. EnVy will take this one, and now we begin the Streets phase.
It's just the hooks of Tailspin are just like auto-connecting to Surefour. It's so unfortunate for Surefour. It's a huge first pick because you're taking out the Reaper of the opposing team. He's the one who's going to shred through the tanks. As soon as you get him out of the way, there's no fear from EnVy. They get right onto the point.
Coco waiting for the prime opportunity here and just really working to get this payload right through and start to begin the phase through the Old West, if you will. And you saw a lot of stagger on the right side of EnVy here from Cloud9, but smartly enough, they back up. And look at the ultimates as well. They're going to have quite a few. And you have Grego, who just used his, and that was going to be another one used on Internet Hulk as well. Actually drops it. Oh, no. Is Taimu going to be able to get this? That would be massive if he was going to. And he does manage to find one. That's going to be the tank to bet, and that would be a beautiful Deadeye there. And Taimu, that accuracy, man, he is just absurd.
I mean, it's just so every time. I mean, he's just connecting with these shots. He's got Reaver directly in front of him, going to put 2 shots in him, helping his teammates, just laying down tons of damage here. Taimu absolutely going ham, as is the rest of EnVy. They are just plowing through the streets phase here. And now you just look at, ultimates on the side of EnVy. Taimu's going to get close to a Deadeye again. Coco close to an Earthshatter. Surefour with the Death Blossom on Cloud9, and that is it. They need to really make that count. And he gets hooked again. That's so unfortunate. Just trying to get in these positions where he can be really effective, and Tailspin just sniffing it out, able to take him out.
Does Surefour have like a magnet on him or something like that? Because the metal of the hook just seems to make his way over to him every single time.
It's gotta be so frustrating.
It has to be, man. Here comes Tailspin. Never mind. Taimu's able to find 3, and that will clear them out and give EnVy yet another point, folks. They're going to have 2 points on the board. Here we go for the final phase, and EnVy is just on point. And I'm sad we didn't get to see what Taimu did there, but regardless, I'm sure it was absolutely epic.
Yeah, he uses his Deadeye and picks up those kills. So,
for sure. Well, I mean, it only makes sense, right? I'm actually shocked that he was able to build it up that fast, but he did wrap around the side and put shots into Tibet when they were on that mid phase of Streets phase.
Yeah.
So that did help him build that ult quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, with McCree just hanging out in the back, knocking down those shots, putting down tons of damage. I'm really impressed with what him and Tailspin have been able to do, especially Tailspin with these hooks on Roadhog, connecting at almost every time. And see, just laying down damage from above. He's going to drop down and go whole hog with the nano.
This is looking fantastic, and he is just finding targets, but he does get pinned. Luckily, never mind. He was nano boosted, but you know what? When you have so many players just focusing on you like that, there's no way you're going to be able to stay alive. Tailspin's teammates, though, they're okay. They managed to move this payload forward, and now Taimu looking for a prime opportunity here to get some shots off.
And just look how aggressive.
He has Deadeye again.
I mean, they are just so aggressive. They challenge every fight. They just go right at the other team. They just challenge them to beat them at their own game. And here comes Taimu with Deadeye. We'll see what he decides to do. Surefour trying to come on a flank, gets flashed, and now Surefour has to back up with the rest of his team. But you're going to see Cloud9, Reaver with 2, Kai with another. They're going to back out the players of EnVy. So EnVy going to have to wait, get ready for another push here.
But you know what? That's okay. They're so close to this point, right? You have 3 minutes and 20 seconds to work with, X. You have 2 ults. You're going to have a Graviton Surge from Internet Hulk. You're going to have a Deadeye from Taimu's McCree. And on top of that, you will potentially get Coco to get the Earth Shatter, and Chips will only continue to build upon that nano boost. This is looking phenomenal for EnVy. But luckily for Cloud9, they have a nano boost, and I'm looking for Grego to go huge with the Sleep Dart, because this could possibly pay off dividends for them if they're able to time it properly. Maybe depending on whoever it is gets the nano boost there when it pops up. Now the battle's going to begin. Surefour is going to be stuck in a really bad position, and Tailspin makes him pay for it. Kai, though, cleans out the tank, cleans out Reinhardt, which means that there may be a disengage here for EnVy, but they're feeling themselves, and unfortunate for Taimu, he's going to fall. Internet Hulk and the crew realizing this was not a battle for them to win. Reaver is pushing them aggressive, and Cloud9 lives to fight another day.
Yeah, Taimu actually uses his Deadeye to force Cloud9 off of the payload, and you actually saw it on his screen we were on with him. It was actually Internet Hulk that pushes up, uses the Graviton Surge to the right, tries to lock some players in there off of the payload, and they trying to move it up, get it even closer to getting it in, and then force just like a last-second crazy frenetic fight. But it was Surefour coming from up top, was not able to pick anything up, but just the threat of him dropping down as Reaper forced EnVy to back up a little bit.
Look at the way that EnVy is stacking here. They're going to have a couple ults. Oh man, hooks on hooks. Reaver's going to fall. Tailspin's able to get that victory there. And Chips looking for the opportunity. Does he go for a potential sleep dart? If it's going to be necessary, we'll find out. But Chips just has to keep his teammates alive. That is his objective. That's what he wants to do. He's stuck in a really interesting position here, and he will fall. So we have 1:34 left on the clock, and this is another reset for EnVy. They have no ults. They have Coco coming up with an Earth Shatter. Internet Hulk will get the Graviton Surge. On the other side, though, Tibet, Reaver, and Adam all primed with ults. For Tibet and Reaver, just inevitable before they get it.
EnVy's going to adjust a little bit. They're going to go with Reaper and now a Tracer. So it's going to be Taimu on Reaper. Tailspin's going to switch over to Tracer. Try and get a little bit more aggression.
I think what they realize is that they want to try and get behind them. and cause some problems. It's going to be difficult for sure. But you know what, though? Reaver's hooks, I haven't really seen much of his hooks just yet. He's gotten a couple here and there. Hasn't certainly been like Taimu and Tailspin with their hooks. Surefour, though, had to go into Wraith mode and just fly away there, realizing that this was not going to work out well for him. And he had teammates to back him up. And look at Tailspin behind enemy lines, like I said before, but that's going to be an easy clear. Now, with 37 seconds left on the clock, can EnVy do this, X?
It's going to be very tough. They're going to have to wait for Tailspin to come up to spawn. They have the Nano Boost. They have the Earth Shatter. They're going to have a Pulse Bomb as well. It's unfortunate they don't have that Graviton to combine with it. On the side of Cloud9, you're going to have a Graviton. You're going to have a Nano too. You potentially could wait till Surefour gets his Death Blossom, but Taimu goes in with the Nano. He's going to have players directly in front of him. It's going to be Surefour and Reaver, though, able to take out two. Taimu's going to get Surefour, and now he's going to have to make his way towards the payload, trying to take out the enemy Zarya, and he's not going to be able to do it.
That was really well done there, I want to say, from Taimu, because I know what he was going for, but because he got hit with that Bionade from Ana and he just wasn't able to regenerate any health, he realized this was a failed battle for them. EnVy's able to take two there, and they bring it really, really close to the end point there. But for Cloud9, if they clear it completely and get to the point where EnVy were at, because remember, it's distance-based plus your time as well, Cloud9 will take this victory, and they'll be tied in the series 1-1.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Cloud9 does on offense. They have to feel pretty good. They got a really strong hold there on that last checkpoint. See if they can kind of convert some of these. Like, you know, you talked about their good defense, like trying to convert into good offense. Like, you got to take those positive vibes into the next half.
It's going to be intense, folks, but I don't think we expect anything else. And look at that. I mean, the payload was basically on the parking spot. It was right there. Oh, man. Only a little bit more, and they would have been able to get those points. And they made it 72.58 meters. So that will give you an idea of the distance that Cloud9 needs to traverse in order for them to win this matchup and get 3 points to secure their victory. What are we seeing here on the defense from EnVy? You have Taimu back to the Roadhog, which I like a lot. Taimu put in a lot of work in that last game, although Tailspin did a phenomenal job as well. Internet Hulk sticking with the Zarya. Chips, of course, on Ana. Harry Hook, of course, on Lucio. And Tailspin and Coco rounding out with the defense there for Reinhardt and May.
And I think for Cloud9, if Reaver can get a hook here early and just trying to get that first initial pick, I think it would be huge for them, obviously, if they're able to get that first blood, try and force their way in and onto the point, force that those gun engagements after they get that first blood. I think it would be huge for them.
And on the other side, though, it's pretty much a mirror of EnVy, but instead of Zarya, you're going to have Surefour on the Reaper. And here we go, folks. Now it's going to be Cloud9's time to attack. How are they going to push their chances here with this initial engagement? Reaver tries to go in for that hook, though, and you know, we saw how effective the hooks can be at the start, especially catching people off guard, but you're not going to get a hook with a Reinhardt shield out and defending his teammates. But Reaver, oh man, the fat man once again goes for the sneak play, but he gets sniffed out there, and this will be Reaver just having to hold back for the time being. He's going to rely on his teammates to just start to push up as he plays through the flank, manages to get the hook. That's going to drag one out of the fight. That will be Taimu, and this is looking like a good initial engagement here for Cloud9. If they can get a Lucio maybe and just try and eliminate some of the healing here, this is going to be what Reaver's job is, but he is getting focused on real quick. Those Maywalls were out too, and that was keeping Adam out of the fight as well. Chips and the crew are going to be hanging out in the back. Harry Hook breaks it down right on the payload to try and keep Tailspin and his teammates alive. And the Graviton surge from Internet Hulk. This could work out really well for them, because here comes his teammate with that Earth Shatter. Kai, though, dropping the Blizzard, and that should keep anyone off the point for the time being. And Cloud9 do a brilliant job and hold this one off.
You know, it's that first pick from Reaver with Roadhog. It's a little bit what we talked about. When he actually goes into the computer room and he tries to get that first hook, it actually just adjusts the position from EnVy, right? Because you always have to be worried if he's going to play that position, try and get a pick. And then when he makes his way all the way around, it just allows the rest of Cloud9 to get through that gate a little bit more easily.
Surefour, too, doing what Reaper does best, which is be a nuisance, you know?
Yeah.
He was looking for something there, and he did get some information on that Reinhardt that was going to go above, but I think we all know that that's a tendency that you would see on this map. You want to go for the high ground and take advantage of that opportunity. As also Grego does have that nano boost, drops the Death Blossom, finds 3, does he find another? That's going to be 4, and Grego was the last person for his team. Actually, Taimu was the last person for his team and did take out Grego, but regardless, it didn't matter because that was going to be 4 kills for Cloud9, and they keep this one moving.
And I just love the way they use the nano on Surefour. Surefour, in the last series we just casted, it was a lot of, it wasn't as, players are hiding and then surprising with the nano and the Reaper combination. They were just kind of flat out doing it. Yeah, nice shot there by Chips. But you saw there, we were on with Surefour for a little bit, crouched behind the corner. As soon as he got the nano, flew out, caught EnVy off guard.
Yeah, and off guard indeed, because he was able to pick up 3 for his troubles, though. I just want to point out real quick, children, Anna, she does damage too. So shout out to Chips there for, reading the fight and dropping Surefour there, because certainly that could have been bad. But overall, though, this has been a good run for Cloud9 thus far. Looking forward to seeing Kai drop this Blizzard and really begin to zone out his opponents. There you go. And they heard it drop down. And look at that. The wall comes out too. That's pretty much going to keep them at bay for the time being, but really forces them to back away, which it seemed like that's what they were trying to accomplish there, zone them out. Maybe, just maybe, it was a misuse, but I don't want to make that call without having all the information.
Reaver actually switches over to Widow as well. So Widow is something I always want to see, especially when someone as good as Reaver is using it. Taimo, though, gets nano boosted, trying to push through, get towards that Graviton as players from Cloud9 stuck inside of it. Going to be able to take out the bet. Knows one player is directly above him. Fantastic play by EnVy to get control yet again. Yeah,
and we also didn't take note of Reaver's Widowmaker. So I wonder how that's going to play out. I wonder if he's going to stick with the Widow, because about 20% left to the ult. Good visibility, right, to get the X-ray. Maybe that could work out pretty well, especially.
And he's sick with Widow.
Oh, that's true. We did see him in that Anubis game just absolutely tear everyone apart. Let's see if he's going to have the same luck here. But you know what, though? That's going to be a focus out right away. But Reaver, just with that movement there, finds one. Oh, he's going to cap him. No, never mind. It does manage to get away there, and there goes the ult for them. And it's so hard to tag a Tracer. I can't even begin to imagine just like the patience you have to have while shooting. Reaver, though, not really finding the shots that he found on Temple of Anubis. He hasn't made much of an impact there, but the InfraSight is giving them a lot of information. So at the very least, they could have taken advantage of the opportunity, but it really seemed like it was all for naught.
Yeah, and the position he was in too, when he's trying to shoot straight down, it's like one of the harder things to do. It's just aim straight down and just track a player like a Tracer. I do think, though, Reaver with Widow brings a lot to this team, as just always have to be cautious, and he's going to be able to get a pick.
Here they go, but
Surefour
down. Oh my goodness, he does manage to stay alive though, but he got put to sleep real quick, still with the nano boost, but it won't really matter all that much. Harry Hook in a really bad spot there, but there's going to be Tailspin continuing to contest. Taimu's in the engagement as well, and Surefour is focusing down as best he possibly could. Everyone really just pointing their guns in that direction, and despite the effort from EnVy, Cloud9 are going to be able to get this second point here. 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And if they're able to get it to that yellow marker on your screen, they win this game.
Yeah, as soon as Surefour dropped down, he got hit with the Earth Shatter, and he's able to stay alive through it, helps his team pick up some kills. And let's see, it's actually going to be Reaver. It looks like it's going to go back to the spawn. He's going to switch out back to Roadhog for Reaver. So going to try and get a pick this way. And Roadhog and Widow, two heroes, obviously. Roadhog a tank. You're trying to get those picks with them, right? With whether it's Reaver's hooks or obviously Widow with the scopes, trying to connect, get those early first bloods, swing team fights in your favor.
Yeah, and you'd really want the HP in this case here. Drags that Zarya into it, but Internet Hulk said not today and shut down Reaver immediately. Now Cloud9 on the move. Surefour's in a bad spot, but realizes, you know what, there was just nothing I could do. I couldn't jump off a cliff. I just kind of had to take it, and he did. So they get right back onto the spawn rotation, but still with plenty of time left, Cloud9 looking for another plan of attack.
Yeah, they're just going to need to stack some ults and really make them worthwhile. So you have Grego getting close to that nano boost. You're able to build up the Ana ult pretty quick. You're going to have to bet getting close to Earth Shatter, and then Surefour will be close to that Death Blossom again. So those are the 3 ultimates you're really looking to make a big difference.
Here comes Tailspin now. Might drop the pulse bomb there, but gets hooked by Reaver, and that's why you had Reaver switching from Widowmaker to Roadhog, because that's the impact that character can make. Harry Hook, though, is going to be in a bad spot. Chips and Harry, the supports, are trying to move in here and delay it for as long as they could, but a Bionade's pretty much going to stop that one in his tracks because there was no healing. Tailspin tried to move in there as quickly as he could, and Cloud9 are going to take this one 3-2. We're tied in the series 1-1.
Yeah, it was just a big first pick by Reaver, obviously able to take out Tailspin on that Tracer, but then it was Surefour dropping down, using the Death Blossom, picking up 3 kills, and then just powering through the opponents. So Cloud9 evens it up, making this series pretty interesting.
I mean, I don't think we expected anything less, right? This certainly is what we wanted out of these 2 teams. ZP said it best. It's a classic matchup. Think Yankees versus Red Sox if you're a new viewer. Where,
that
you know,
hasn't been too great recently.
Well, you know, I mean, the Yankees are still the greatest team in the world. So, you know, we'll take that. Even if everyone disagrees with me. As a New Yorker, I can't say otherwise. Boo Mets.
Yeah, the Mets have been so much better.
I know, but still,
whatever, I'll let you
Boo
go
Mets.
on your piece around the Yankees for a minute.
Oh, boy. But you know what, though, folks? This has certainly been a great series thus far. We're waiting to find out what Map 3 is going to be here, but Hollywood will go to C9. And Internet Hulk, though, despite losing, they still had some phenomenal plays. And that one in particular, courtesy of Taimu's Deadeye, Coco swinging away against Kai Kai. And that was a huge one. And oh my, yes! 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 This is the best thing ever. This is what the internet is all about in this image.
The internet's a great play.
Right here. Oh man, and you know it's funny because we just this is a picture from probably when they went over when they did the photo shoot for all the casters. So they had some good shots of serious looking nefarious ZP, but of course not even Dr. ZP can keep these guys away from this prize money, because first place is going to take $100,000, second place 32 grand. Third, 24, and fourth getting the same amount. Everyone, well, the 5th through 8th spot will get 18 grand. And you know what? Largest prize pool in Overwatch history.
It's awesome.
Not bad.
Yeah, a lot of money on the line. First place, 100K.
It's a lot of nuts.
I'll take that.
You know? It was a Kung Pao reference for anyone.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, of course you did, because you don't appreciate good quality films.
No, not at all. I actually appreciate pretty poor films. I actually enjoy watching pretty bad
Kung
movies.
Pao is an awful movie, just so you are aware.
Oh, I had no idea what you were talking about anyway. But
come on,
I
man.
do like the prize
Heartbreaking.
disparity between first and second place. That makes that match that much more important.
For sure.
I love to see that.
Well, I also think, too, for these players, this is a big opportunity to really show up and cement yourself as a champion in Overwatch. And another player who has actually been a champion in the past. I mean, this guy actually casted him back in Shoot Mania. So I'm very familiar with this man right here, Tailspin, and the talent that he possesses. This dude is a journeyman of video games and has found his home here in Overwatch. And he has certainly been one to enjoy because he has such a deep pool of heroes he could use.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Roadhog on Hollywood, Tracer on both maps, Mei on both maps, Genji and Pharah as well. But Tracer, his play on Tracer has just been very, very good. I mean, he just does a great job just annoying your backline players.
Yeah, and the thing about Tracer that's so good about her is that she, you know, you saw kind of what Reaver was going for in that last game when he was, you know, back in Numbani when he was hovering around them, right? Because to kind of echo what you said before, X, it's just so good to be a pain in the neck and just, you know, get poke damage. You build up your ultimate relatively quick, which is the Pulse Bomb, and paired with a variety of abilities. And that's the thing about Overwatch that's so awesome, because all these heroes, they have unique synergies, whether it's in their abilities or with their ultimate abilities. And Tracer's Pulse Bomb with a Graviton Surge, that's the big bang.
I mean, Graviton works with many things, right?
For sure.
I mean, you know, Rocket Barrage, Pulse Bombs, Death Blossoms. Graviton's just a fantastic ult to combo with a lot of these players, but that is their first map loss.
I didn't even settle with me that that was their first map loss. That is quite significant. Of course, if there was a team to do it, Cloud9, it makes sense.
And they've been running through the competition up until this point, EnVy, you know, winning these games, you know, fairly convincingly. Now that one against Cloud9, I mean, both of these maps against Cloud9 have been relatively, you know, competitive. I mean, I know Cloud9 on the defensive side of things on Numbani did a good job. Offense, not as much, but right there on Hollywood, you saw a very good Cloud9 team come out.
Yeah, Cloud9 and these two organizations as well, Cloud9 and Team EnVyUs. Team EnVyUs, we're very familiar with them coming from a Call of Duty background.
Yeah.
So they, you know, it's an org that has been around for a really long time. And then Cloud9, an organization that really came into its own within the last couple of years here. And really, they've just become presence in esports. So not only is it crazy to see these players on this stage competing against one another with their history, but also the org.
It's two of the most prestigious names that we have in esports organizational-wise, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just look at how EnVy like has just transformed their organization over the years. Like now, when you talk about like Team EnVyUs, like it's not just like one game. You know, they're just a small team. It's like they have top talent in every single game. It's just a testament to Stro and all the work that he's put in. Obviously, getting these top talented players.
Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Tasmo too, my boy. The one and only.
I don't know if I want to give a shout out to Tasmo.
You're
I don't know if I want to
again,
do that.
Matt, literally the worst Morello.
Yeah.
Right here, folks.
Tasmo, I know manager analysis for Team EnVyUs. I know for multiple games. So Tasmo, very good part of the organization. Definitely keeps these players in check.
All right, folks. Well, here we go. Now it's going to be time, and just look at the movement there that Kai is able to bring to the table for his squad and get that high ground right away. And then I actually really like this play. They came out the gate swinging. They have one person pushing this forward, and they essentially just shoved EnVy into the other side of the map and said, hold up, we just got to move this. We just got to move this under this bridge. So please, you know, just get out of the way, por favor. But now here comes Kai working alongside Debet, and they do manage to sleep out that Roadhog. So even when he wakes up, it's going to be hard for him to back up.
Yeah, and if EnVy would have actually been playing towards that, you know, closer topside over by the bridge, definitely would have caught them off guard. EnVy plays a little bit further back by the server room. Still a nice opening strat there from Cloud9, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because I think that you have to take into account that a lot of players, when you just see them, whether it be like in ranked play or even in matches alone, they tend to like not do that, right? They try and play a little bit more toward the bridge and maybe back up when they need to, but regardless, so here we have EnVy trying to scout out where the approach is going to be, but Taimu, more importantly, just seeing if anyone's going to charge around the flank, right? And he expected him, gets the hook on him, so that was good. But Surefour, though, with that nano boost, was able to clear him out. Earth Shatter, though, will make a stop happen. Sound Barrier will fall. Coco, though, he's going to get dropped immediately, and this is looking great for Cloud9. They only have one player to deal with. That was Chips. Goodbye, Chips. And that's going to be a point for C9.
I love, like, you know, when like you have players you watch online all the time and you know how good they are, right? And then you get to these like, you know, live events and there's so much pressure in these big matches, and like, you know, like you have a guy like Surefour or somebody like a Tailspin, they have like the opportunity to just like completely take over a game. And it's like, I feel like we're seeing one of those from Surefour right now. Like he's starting to heat up, trying to get into a rhythm with this Reaper, really giving EnVy a lot of problems.
Surefour, man, he was one of the names that I first saw in competitive Overwatch. I was watching many of the online tournaments that had took place, and he was always just a player that all the casters had spoken about. And looking around for this next opportunity, he's actually going to find Chips just by himself. So that's unfortunate. Gets dragged in from the Graviton Surge, but because of the Wraith ability, he's able to get out of there. And they're going to keep this fight going. Cloud9 looking to make this one a 2-point game for them. Can they do so? They have a lot of support. There goes Taimu, though, able to find two. And EnVy has other plans as they stop Cloud9 in their tracks.
Yeah, now EnVy, they're going to have Taimu's Deadeye, so they're going to be able to force the players from Cloud9 to scatter, get behind cover, stall their push a little bit, and Chips is going to have that nano boost, so we'll see who he gives it to, potentially Coco on the Reinhardt.
Yeah, I would like to see Coco get it, potentially. But you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to Internet Hulk getting it as well, right? If he gets nano boost and then rages out, you can just start whacking everyone all over the place. That'd be pretty fun. We haven't really seen McCree get it all that much, which I guess makes a lot of sense. Here comes the Deadeye just looking, and he actually gives it to him. And I was just talking about this, which my wizard. Anyway, this is awesome. Taimu, though, is going to try and just put them back as best he possibly could. And just look at the way the Envy, they're just flooding on him. And the diving there as well from Internet Hulk, showing why he's one of the best Winstons in the game.
Yeah, Envy just has the timing down with Winston diving and then Tailspin now on Zarya, just able to secure him with those bubbles, build up damage for himself. Then Winston, Internet Hulk, able to stay alive, dropping another bubble. So Envy, one of the better teams at that strategy. You see Cloud9, they're trying to take this top advantage, Alex. They're trying to get control of the plane here, and you see Surefour is going to drop down, going to get nanoed as Reaper. The sound barrier, though, is going to come in for Envy. It's going to be Surefour able to pick up two, searching for more opponents.
Oh, my goodness. That was a brilliant clear there for Surefour. They're looking to move this one forward, even though they do have a contestant there. Harry Hook and Coco working together. Harry Hook's trying to heal his teammate while Coco is just going to swing his hammer willy-nilly. You're going to have Tailspin clearing as well. And that was a big win for Envy because that could have gone poor for them. But they're going to have to reset, figure out what the game plan is this time around. Internet Hulk switched out of that Winston, now going for Reaper. So that means no more diving there for the Winston. But, you know, for those of you guys who may not know, and this is kind of like across the board, diving is essentially when you have a character that can fly into the action, right? Think of like, you know, diving into a pool. He's just going to dive right into the thick of things and cause problems.
Yeah, somebody who can close the gap between you and your opponent fast. So somebody like a Genji who can use his dash, or like Tracer who can just blink right in, and obviously, you know, Winston who can use his jumping ability, you know, to just close the gap.
Yep, so it's all about gap closing there for those kinds of characters. But for Cloud9, and especially Surefour with McCree, it's about accuracy. But for Taimu, it's the same thing as well. And he is able to stop Surefour. Debet's going to be in a world of hurt if he's not careful. Look at the way he was able to drag him, Reaver. And that, again, has to be so frustrating if you're a support player, because you're thinking, all right, here I am, you know, audio medic and support my teammates playing the same 3 songs. And nope, you get dragged out of nowhere there.
How are you going to go on Lucio like that, man?
Hey, man, I'm a Lucio fan. I play Lucio, okay? You know, I mean...
you play everybody, it seems.
I play tank and support. I'll never claim to be good with DPS characters because, you know, I have pretty much the ammo of the potato.
There's a lot of people who could vouch that you are not. So we can see Cloud9, they're stacking up on some ultimates. The bet's going to have the Earth Shatter. Reaver's going to have Whole Hog. Grego with the Nano. And then you have Adam, obviously, both your support ults up. He's going to have Sound Barrier. So maybe you see Grego go with, you know, I'm actually going to give it to Reaver, the Nano, and they go with the Sound Barrier as well, investing a lot into this fight.
Yeah, I actually really like that play, although Reaver, man, he's able to stay alive because not only does Roadhog have so much health, but when you also have that nano boost, just keeps you alive. But you know what? It wouldn't matter because Envy makes the stop, and they might deny Cloud9 2 points on the board here. Is it over for Cloud9? Not at all. They could still very well get back into this, but Taimu with the positioning, and they just couldn't get there in time, and Taimu just said, I'll pick up 2. Why not? So there you have it, folks. Envy only allowing Cloud9 to get 1 more, and as soon as they heard that Deadeye, you just knew that Cloud9 was like, well, not much we could do there, because he had a Deadeye and they had no idea where it was.
Yeah, and it was Internet Hulk for Envy who drops down, uses a Death Blossom there, and Cloud9 obviously making that the final fight, invested everything they had into it. You had Reaver nanoed with Whole Hog and a Sound Barrier, and they were not able to get anything done with it. You know, the rest of his teammates were getting picked off by Internet Hulk with that Reaper, and he was not able to find anything with the Roadhog.
So that is going to do it for our first round here, entering into the half. Now it's going to be Envy's turn to attack. They get 2 points. They're able to get 1 point for the first checkpoint and then progress the payload to where Cloud9 left off. They're going to be able to take this victory here, and they will be up in the series 2-1. If you're just joining us here, folks, this is a big matchup. The winner moves on to the Americas final, where they will await the winner of our upcoming match, Fnatic versus fan favorite NRG. Who will come out on top there? You're going to have to stick around to find out. But in the meantime, you have a fantastic series against 2 incredible teams, EnVyUs and Cloud9. It's going to be Envy's turn here. Let's see what they're going to be able to do.
And I'm interested to see how Cloud9 actually sets up on the defensive side of things, because we saw Envy, they didn't play up really close to the bridge. They played a little bit further back by the server room. be interesting to see if Cloud9 goes the same approach, if they're going to play a little bit more aggressive towards the front.
Yeah, and also another thing, the carrier phase, right? When you're in that portion and you're going for that second point, that's so hard to play out of. If you're the attack, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah, it is pretty difficult. I mean, you know, you try and get that high ground. The defense has a good setup. And get on top of that carrier, really just kind of rain down the damage from above.
All right, folks, here we go. It's going to be EnVy on the attack. Cloud9 playing back as you had saw earlier here. So both teams opting to go for that similar strategy of just allowing EnVy to make this allowing their opponents to make this progress forward here. But Harry Hook and Chips, the support's doing some work, which is always a pleasure to see. Taimu, look out for those hooks from him because he has been on fire. He's gone fishing pretty much all day, hooked everyone.
You see like how fast like EnVy is able to adjust on the fly. Ooh. It's like it looked like Taimu was going to come up from up top, try and get that high ground. And as soon as they walled off Tibet, they switched it up. They all went lower. They were like, get 2 quick kills.
Tibet is not in a good spot. He can't regen, and on top of that, he was pretty much just dead to rights in that situation. Surefour, though, on the move, but it won't matter because Taimu's going to stop him. Only 1 player, 2 players. Grego, the supports are going to be left alive. This should be easy, and it is. They get themselves their first point. EnVy making stupendous time. But as we mentioned before, this next phase is very hard, and with that added high ground here, it could play a factor.
And look, I mean, EnVy picking up these kills, they're going to split spawn the players on Cloud9. So some of the players on Cloud9 spawn up, you know, for that previous point.
How quick
some
they
of them
go
spawn up all the way in the back, set up for the carrier phase. And right there, when EnVy picks up those kills, they know they're going to gain a ton of ground with this payload.
And I really did like how just assertive EnVy was in that situation, realizing that we just got to get on top of the shuttle before C9 does, and they do so, and now it's pretty much a mini game of King of the Hill at this point, but you do have a nano boost dropping in favor of Taimu. Taimu clears out 2. Surefour, though, stops Chips, but it won't matter all that much because the damage has certainly been done, losing 2 substantial tanks there. Now Internet Hulk finds one with 100% charge and just focuses them down. 1 more player is going to be around. That'll be Grego, but that should be continued progression, but not if your Tracer Reaver has anything to say about it. They are so close. Tibet moving in. He wants to get in their face here, Matt.
Yeah, and you have the Internet Hulk. He is so charged up as Zarya, just laying down tons of damage. The sound barrier is going to come in for Cloud9. You can see Internet Hulk, he's going to back up a little bit. They're going to reset as a team and try and just push this just a little bit further for the win.
And a Graviton Surge now will drop. Internet Hulk will fall. And maybe Cloud9 can edge this one out. Maybe they could survive, but Taimu gets it yet again. This fight started with Taimu getting that nano boost, and it may very well end with the same exact play, and they just have to stop this Tracer, and they finally do. Reaver will fall, but in comes the Winston to just jump right into the fray. That will be Kai. Not much he could do, and GG. EnVy will take the W.
Now, I was going to say, Reaver just did all he could to stay alive there for the final few seconds, did a great job stalling it, but that is going to be an EnVy map win as they go 2-1 here in the series versus Cloud9. 1 map away from advancing. Now, EnVy, you know, when they look good, Goldenboy, they look good. I mean, just the aggression that they put out, just the amount of damage, and just the teamwork and coordination they have with, you know, you saw Taimu on the Roadhog, you know, just getting that nano boost, and you know they fall back and they just do a good job just resetting a little bit, like you know, you push up and you maybe pick up a few kills, and then they reset a little bit, wait for maybe another ult, and then push in instead of just committing full on to these fights. It's very impressive to see.
All right, folks, this is down to the wire for EnVy here. 1 more, and they will move on in this competition. Cloud9, we'll see you next time. But for Cloud9, what do they pick? What's the map that they go with here? Will it be Route 66 or Kings Row? Those are the last 2 that are available in the pool. But you know what? It's hammer time. Let's talk about Coco, because Coco just went absolutely bananas to close that one out. I mean, just look at the presence that that player has.
Yeah, I mean, Reinhardt, right? You're just defending your team, and as soon as those fights go down and you start swinging your hammer, just laying down on damage everyone around you, it's just a ton of fun, and Coco very talented at it.
I'm a big fan of Reinhardt. Yeah. Always have been. I like, I don't know, it's like one of those heroes that just makes so much sense for the game, right? You know, like it's a map where you got to progress objectives forward. So what's good at that? A giant shield.
Yeah, and it's just like it's a huge asset to a team, right? A great Reinhardt knowing when to dive. And the flame strikes do a decent bit of damage. Earth Shatter, obviously, such a powerful ultimate. A very good Reinhardt is key to the team.
So let's see what Cloud9 opts to pick this time around. But we were talking about him. Let's just continue to praise the all hail Reinhardt, because Earth Shatter, probably one of the most impactful ults, no pun intended, where it could pretty much just shake the entire ground.
Your jokes are on point.
I'm trying, man. I really want. Listen, we got to make a decent impression.
I almost started laughing there for a second.
We got to make a decent impression with the Overwatch community here, you know? So we got to do what we can. Oh, folks, and while Cloud9 is stewing on what map they're going to want to pick here, let's talk about some of the highlights from Watchpoint Gibraltar, home of the Overwatch, because Surefour had some great performances there. I think there was just incredible synergies overall with how, you know, Ana dropped bio nades, as you saw in just at the start of that fight when Debet was in a situation he just could not get out of. And then Graviton surges. That fight started with a Roadhog nano boost, and so much went on that it ended with a Roadhog nano boost. That's insane.
And I felt like every time he jumped on with Internet Hulk, it was like 90 charge and above. I feel like he was always charged up, always doing tons of damage on that Zarya. And Zarya is just such an important tank as well. I mean, you're able to just save your other teammates. Somebody gets hooked, you drop a barrier on them, you get a ton of energy from that. And then you yourself, you go in, you start taking tons of damage, start getting charged up. You become just like a damage-dealing machine with Zarya.
Yeah, and of course, fans, make sure you let us know what you think. Hashtag OW Open. Tweet out what are your thoughts of this matchup. Taimu just can't miss. I'm with you, man. I'm with you, Paco. I feel it. You know, he has just had an incredible game so far.
Yeah, very talented. Multiple heroes. We talked about it. Nah, you see Cloud9, they're kind of going over which map they should go to next. So their two options are Route 66 and King's Row. Seems like that's where the decisions are going right now. You see, the guys after the last map, they won, obviously. This is going to sound like a point you would make. They seemed like in pretty high spirits. Did not seem
really?
So right there. Yeah, not just pointing out the obvious.
That hurts. That really hurts.
I do love you, Goldenboy. I think you're fantastic.
No, you don't.
I do. I really do.
Well, I understand why Envy would feel this way, right? I mean, they're one step away from going to the Americas Finals. They came into this tournament as a favorite. But if you are Cloud9, what do you go for? And if I'm looking at the screen right, that looks like Route 66. Yeah. So they're going to go for Route 66. Now, I actually, King's Row, like, it's one of those maps that's been around since the beginning of competitive Overwatch. So I just don't know if you're Cloud9, if you just want to go to such a safe map such as that. Route 66, maybe you could take some liberties, try something different. I don't know.
He just fixed his glasses like Winston.
Did he really?
That's what we just saw there from Internet Hulk. We need a little bit of a Photoshop there. God, I feel like
he embodies Winston, you know, even though
Internet Hulk is a fantastic name as well, by the way.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Something interesting, you know, when you go to Route 66, if that will be the next map, just have not had that confirmed yet, but obviously you see the players that it was on their screen. Kind of think it's likely. You know, Roadhog's hooks are going to be prominent on that map as well. Hey, there you go. Hey, Coco. It looked like a hi, mom. Not like really a Ripley. There you go, thumbs up. I'm assuming that I'm correct when I get the thumbs up.
Maybe he was saying hi to you.
I mean, if he was saying hello to you, hello back.
They're not waving.
No, you didn't wave at me.
Awkward.
It definitely was not to me. But
we're going to have a lot of ha-has in the chat. I know it's going to happen. It's like the universal sign for cringe.
Oh.
If you guys actually saw Matt wave.
No, I actually, when he asked me to wave, I actually did
wave.
And it was like the poorest attempt at a wave ever.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to say, I saw a lot of effort being put into that. You look like you really wanted them to wave back at you.
I would have liked to wave. I mean, I'm not going to lie. If you asked me to wave at somebody, I'd expect to wave back, but I didn't get one. So just waiting to figure out which map we have coming up next. We do think it will probably be Route 66, but not entirely sure. Waiting for players to get into the game, then we can get it underway. If you're just tuning in, it's going to be Envy up 2-1 in the series. They have just been juggernauts in Overwatch competitive, and there it is.
Route 66. You know what? I I'm cool with this. Although Kings Row, great map, so maybe a little bit on the safe side. So you go with Route 66. Anything can happen here. By the way, I was actually talking to someone in the back, and I just want to make sure my mind wasn't playing tricks on me. Did we say like an offensive bash-in?
Well, we did.
Okay. Just on this map. I just
we did.
want to.
I did not think we see that again. But
I don't think so either. But you know what? I am excited to see Taimu on a Hanzo. That I do like.
yeah, well, he is actually
Never mind.
going to switch over to McCree. But
Never mind.
I actually do like Cloud9. They're going to have.
I agree with the McCree.
They're going to have the Roadhog. So Reaver's going to be running Roadhog. Expect him to try and get that hook early, trying to get a first pick. And you're going to have Adam running Zenyatta. So for the sustainability of Cloud9, you're going to have Zen and Ana. It's going to be important for Zen, you know, obviously, to keep the player's harmony orbed, keep getting that healing. Line of sight, obviously, a huge factor in that. And then Ana's going to have to do a ton of the healing as well.
Yeah, focusing in on a lot of the tanks with the Discord orb certainly comes into play here. And you know, if we as casters, we like to see different things, right? Because it's fun, you know. It's always fun to like comment on different things. So I would have liked the Hanzo, but you know what? I get it because he's nasty with McCree, so I support this. But Envy backing away, realizing this is not going to be a fight that they're going to win initially. Now looking for a different approach here as they go for the high ground, and they know that that could be the way that they go toe-to-toe against them, and they're crouching by. I love it. And here they go. So they're just looking to sneak inside and get around them. So this could work out rather well as they're looking for some angles. They don't know that there's a, never mind, Taimu knows all, and he does find one. That's going to be a sleeped out Roadhog. Reaver won't be able to stay up. Envy continues to push this forward. Now you're going to have Nano boosted. Sure4, Reaper doing the work. Chips in a bad spot in a cave. Harry Hook went to sleep, and that is going to be Cloud9 with a stop. But still, I did appreciate the approach that Envy took there.
Yeah, and Sure4 is going to be very close to that Death Blossom, so he'll have that for the next Envious push. But what I think Envy was trying to do there is, in their initial push, they saw Reaver playing up top with Roadhog. I think they ended up trying to back out, trying to get sneaky up top. They were just going to surprise him as soon as they came around the corner. He probably saw like a flashbang, trying to take out Roadhog quick.
Yeah, they knew they had to eliminate that Roadhog right away. And you also hear the Tailspin with two, Taimu finding one. That was going to be with the Deadeye. And I just want to say why that play was so incredible from Taimu and Tailspin, because once that Deadeye popped up, the players knew they just got right behind Big Earl's sign, that the Tailspin with Tracer was able to push up with that Pulse Bomb, drop it down, and scatter them, which kind of sort of worked out, except this time Tracer was able to pick up 2 kills with the Pulse Bomb. That was really well played.
I almost feel like Deadeye, you don't see like a ton of kills picked up with it. I mean, we've seen like, you know, some
it's just a great zoning mechanic.
But it just zones out players, and it's just such a distraction. I mean, you hear, you know, Tani come out on the map, and everyone starts to scatter, and right there just causes a great distraction. Tailspin's able to pick up 2 of the Pulse Bomb, open things up for Envy.
I mean, he basically yells, "It's high noon," like really loud, and everyone knows it's coming.
Everyone's scattered. Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Run, head for the hills, head for the hills, you varmint!" Haha, look at that there, because you know, like Western. And yeah. Okay, that was awkward. So moving on. You're literally the worst. Okay, Internet Hulk and the crew just trying to get some kills here and clear it out. But Cloud9 is there for the initial stop, and Internet Hulk alongside with his Reinhardt Coco, realizing this was a failed skirmish and had to back away.
Yeah, but look at how much Cloud9 has to work with for this next fight. So Envy, they back out. They're going to have to figure out another way to break this setup from Cloud9. It's going to be Tailspin with a Pulse Bomb, Chips with the Nano, and then Taimu's got the Deadeye again. But look at how much utility the side of Cloud9 has.
Sure4 waiting for that prime opportunity too. You know, that Death Blossom, we've seen it cause so many problems before, but here you go, Nano boosted Reaper yet again. And is he getting much out of this one here? I mean, he might get this 1 kill against Coco potentially, but no, doesn't even get anything for that. Only has a smidgen of health, and that will be Taimu with a clear right away, and Envy. Good job on them.
And it's a big play by Internet Hulk. He actually barriers that Reinhardt as Sure4 is just laying down shots on him, keeps that Reinhardt alive, and Internet Hulk gets charged up. So a big play there by Zarya.
Yeah, once you get that Zarya charged, man, we saw what Internet Hulk was able to do with that before. just some heavy laser beams. It is brutal. And, you know, again, you hook a Zarya, but chances are Zarya is going to get away because of the bubble. But look at what Taimu's doing here. He's waiting for them to push out to engage. They have no idea where he is, but he did get spotted out. Now he's just looking for the picks and does not manage to get it. But I loved the thought process there for Envy, for Taimu, what they were trying to accomplish. Now here comes the Winston. That will be a tough one there, but it will not be able to do much. And Coco clearing out two, and Tailspin with the final. This is going to be a checkpoint for Envy.
They're just doing a fantastic job of moving this payload. It's actually going to be Adam going down, trying to contest it. He's going to drop, and now we're going to move on to the final phase here on the first half of Route 66 for Envy.
One has to wonder, when does Adam bust out that sound barrier?
Yeah. Now they do have Surefour with the Death Blossom and Nano Boost, so you think Surefour, you see him there on your screen, he's up top.
Yeah, I would wait for Surefour to go for this. I would save that sound barrier. I would rely on the nano boosted Death Blossom. And here you go, folks. Here you go. We called it, but he actually gets stopped right away. Didn't really find much with that one. Now continuing to push forward, and because they heard that coming out of the sky, they all backed away. Didn't get much for that one. And Adam also drops the beat. He does the sound barrier, so that is going to be unfortunate. They end up using all of those ults there, and they don't have much to get. Kai's going to fall, and they're going to keep this one moving forward. Tailspin and company clearing Cloud9.
It's a fantastic clear there from Envy. You see Surefour obviously uses the Death Blossom. They use the Nano Boost from Grego. They don't really get much to show for it. Now you're going to have Taimu with Deadeye. Really, you're looking at Taimu with the Deadeye. Internet Hulk potentially gets the Graviton, and Tailspin with a Pulse Bomb. On the side of Cloud9, all you're going to have going into this is going to be the Earthshatter.
Yeah, I want to say that that Surefour was stunned there because it looked like he didn't get all of that Death Blossom in. I'm sure if he would have, it could have been a different story. And because Taimu has Deadeye here, expect him to, you know, do another zoning one more time. That's going to force everyone to the right. You see those bodies there? Oh my goodness, not today, Reaver. You try and push him up, and he is going to just take you out. And the sleep-darted nano boost. And another thing too, right? You oftentimes, when you see someone just falling asleep like that, you don't want to hit him. But because there was so much going on in front of Taimu, that flashbang ended up waking up the Reinhardt. But I don't think it really matters all that much because Envy, they're just one step away from being able to make this one a reality. Get 3 points on the board. In comes Coco. Massive Earth Shatter. And Taimu is going to be nano boosted, but the sound barrier for Cloud9 is looking to keep them in this fight.
And that was actually a sound barrier from Envy as well. You're going to have another Deadeye here from Taimu, trying to line him up. He's going to connect with one, and that is going to be all 3 points for Envy here in the first half.
That I feel so bad for Reaver because he challenged him the first time thinking, yeah, I'm not in his peripheral. And then he just was like, nope, never mind. Quick shot to the right. Did it a second time. I love it. That was great. And Envy, they are going to take 3 points in the first half here. Cloud9, they went with this pick for Route 66. They lost game 3. And they lost game 3 to Envy. As you see, their series is at 2-1. So they had to make a decision. What do we go for here? They went with Route 66 after a long deliberation. This is, I mean, really, this is it for Cloud9, right? They've been in this position before. They went the distance with Method. You know, can they do it again here, X?
They definitely have the talent to. Just whether they can all kind of get on the same page, kind of wipe everything negative that's happened in this series just out of their minds. And oh, little Winston.
A little Winston. I love it. That's awesome.
I have the plush one. The big one.
I have a plush one as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Are we best friends now?
It's actually hilarious. I just drove from California all the way back to New York.
Sounds
and
miserable.
We're packing all of our stuff and whatnot. And my girlfriend was like, oh, is this thing getting shipped or coming with us? I was like, no, it's got to come with us. It's like, I can't risk that getting lost.
Yeah.
So, little Winston, he was in the trunk the entire time.
Poor Winston.
Yeah,
actually.
sorry, Winston, but listen, there was a lot of stuff that needed to go cross country.
I have my Winston Pops back home.
Oh, that's good.
And I also have a Winston plush in my office. So, you know, I try my best to just gather any Overwatch merch I could possibly get my hands on. I'm a nerd. All right, so now this is it, folks. For Cloud9, the pressure's on. Will they be able to do this? Can they force a Game 5 is the question. Envy has no time left okay? No time left. So if C9 is capable of making any movements here and an offensive Bastion,
He's
bless
back.
you.
I think they're just, I would assume they're using this to see if anyone comes around the corner from EnVy, plays a little bit aggressive. You know, Bastion can kind of open things up.
I respect
yeah,
it.
it looks like Sure4, looks like, oh, for a second there, it looked
No,
like
you
he was going to
commit.
go back to the spawn and switch, but now, as soon as you see Internet Hulk dive in, he's going to just start to set up in turret mode, but now they put him to sleep, just buys him enough time to get back to cover for EnVy.
Commit. You believe in yourself. If you think you could run offensive Bastion, you run offensive Bastion. And I like it. Sure4, man. If there's one guy who could do it too, it's him. He just has a great mind for the game. So I really could see him just continuing to be a nuisance here. Just waiting around to see what... And really, I think the Bastion has actually forced EnVy to really reconsider how they push. And despite him falling there, he still was able to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, he gets 2 kills, drops some damage before he falls. So the Bastion, they're doing some work there. It's going to be Tailspin, though, picking up one with a Pulse Bomb, and now it's going to be Greco trying to connect with the opposing team's Ana around the payload. Finally, they clear out chips, and Cloud9 starts to move the payload. It's going to be Sure4 getting off Bastion, going to go back to McCree, but the Bastion to open things up definitely was a nice pick.
Yeah, it did its job. It got them around that first bend. It did not allow EnVy to set up on Big Earls, right? Which right on top of the gas station. So overall, I think that was a success there and a really smart play. You know, it's always good to see these heroes used in really creative situations, just like this. Nano boosted Reinhardt as he just swings away, and there go the supports in one fell swoop. Now you're gonna have a Zarya who goes in for a challenge, but ooh, Coco over there with the Zarya, and that's gonna be a good stop.
Yeah, able to win it, but the payload going to keep advancing as Cloud9 runs through that first point. Definitely caught EnVy off guard there with that Bastion pick at the beginning, and then able to advance it here to the street space, and it'll be really nice to see if Cloud9 what they decide to do here. If they keep with the same comp, if they drop maybe a change here. It's going to be Reaver, though, with a whole hog into bed. Then Earth Shatter, and man, we have seen some Roadhog flanks. I never thought.
There you go. Bye-bye, bye-bye, Lucio. But Taimu's there for the stop. Tailspin able to pick up 2. Taimu finds a Tailspin again with another one. And Coco and company, they were able to work on a forward push there, stopping anything that Cloud9 could do. But I did like that play from Reaver. I liked what he was going for. He was able to take out their main support, so the job was certainly done there. I'm sure he would have liked to stay alive. But despite that, though, I did like where their head was at.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 doesn't invest anything into that fight, right? I mean, they don't use the whole hog, they don't use the Earth Shatter. They're going to earn themselves a nano boost there. It's going to be Sure4 with an early pick, taking out Tailspin. Let's see if Cloud9 can get aggressive and start moving the payload.
There goes a sound barrier. It seems like EnVy is going to be prime and ready for a fight. And nice job with the Earth Shatter, just drags out Taimu, though. Despite that, we're able to find 3 players. And you know what? While that was a good try there from Cloud9, EnVy just had the plan of attack.
And it's a great play by Harry, Hook, and Taimu. So Harry uses that sound barrier, then goes over to speed. Taimu comes out on top of the bridge with the Deadeye, and he's able to pick up 3, then gets an Nano and able to pick up a last one.
You know that they're anticipating this next push here. Surely they know that Grego has to have that ultimate available to them. So this could be a big push opportunity for Cloud9. They're taking their time, which is fantastic. And I enjoy that too because he heals everyone at the same time. So that Bionade is just such a great ability for them to use. Here comes Sure4, though. He's going to try it with Death Blossom, but doesn't find anything with it, which is unfortunate. But at least they're going to be able to continue making progress with this payload. Internet Hulk can't stay alive. Now over here to Coco, who's playing Zarya, and that shield is out and focused down she goes. For the time being, that was going to be to bet on her leg. White on rice. And this is a win for C9. They continue making progress here with 1 minute and 13 seconds left.
And they're going to have that Grafton, so you know, if EnVy is going to challenge to see it again, they can stop them right at the doorway. You see that is what they're setting up for. Kai and Sure4 hiding right around the corner. There comes the Grafton. Sure4 is going to be able to lay a ton of damage to these players. You can see Winston diving in as well. And this should be one where Cloud9 is able to win.
Remember, folks, this is it for Cloud9. If they lose this, they're out of the competition in this best of 5. So the pressure's on for them. Kai and the crew fighting for their life as they make progress with the payload, push this forward. They get 2 points on the board. Can they do it, though, is the question. If they're able to get 3 with time on the board, they will be able to attack one more time and potentially get 4 points. But with no points, that would be a tie.
EnVy is fully stacked with ults. I mean, Taimu with Deadeye, you have Coco with the Graviton, and you're going to see the Graviton come in there. You have Chips with his nano boost. He's going to use that. Harry Hook dies before he can actually use the sound barrier. You're going to see Reaver, he's going to pull out the whole hog, just trying to knock away Internet Hulk as he's nanoed, and now you see Cloud9 going to go on the offensive.
A lot was invested into this fight for EnVy. They had a lot to work with as well. Beautiful Hulk, I should say, hook on Internet Hulk, and that is going to be more progression with the payload for Reaver and company. And I like what I'm seeing here. They have a lot of time to work with, but you know, you still have 3 ults for EnVy. Taimu with the zoning of Deadeye, Harry Hook with the survivability of the sound barrier, and Internet Hulk with that, you know, surprising Death Blossom that could do a lot of work. And no one from C9 is going to try and play around this payload here because they just don't want to risk it and you know, end up coming back off of that respawn. There goes the Death Blossom though from Internet Hulk. He gets slept on, and now Surefour, he does manage to pick out Zarya, and that's going to be massive, but this is the fight that C9 needs to win. Their life is on the line in this competition. Internet Hulk trapped in a corner because of the whole hawk. Taimu, though, finds 2, and this is going to be EnVy pushing back Cloud9. They have no ultimate. Stand corrected. Tibet has his, and Kai has his. On the other side, though, Coco and Internet Hulk.
It's dangerous for Cloud9.
This is a big fight.
I mean, 20 seconds left. You have Coco with the Graviton and Internet Hulk with the Death Blossom. Taimu is going to get that McCree ult as well. Now, you're going to see, as soon as they try and get towards this payload, there comes the Deadeye from McCree. It's going to be Coco picking up 1, Taimu with another. This is not looking good for Cloud9.
Not at all, but Kai, can he come out huge, able to pick off 1, gets post bomb, tailspin with 2, takes out Kai and Adam, and that's going to do it. GG, EnVy move on to the next round. Congratulations to them, but that was an insane encounter at the end there. Wow, what a matchup. Congratulations to EnVy. They will move on to the Americas final, where they will await the winner of Fnatic versus NRG.
Yeah, and EnVy just had so many ults there at the end and just stack up. And Kai trying his best there. Had his Zarya ult towards the end, trying to stay alive. Taimu comes in, I believe it's Tailspin, sorry, with the Pulse Bomb, able to take him out. And EnVy advances. You know, probably expected, this is what they expected to do, right? They expected to just kind of go through this tournament, make it to the finals. Still, I know that they're going to have, you know, tough teams ahead of them. C9
put up a fight for sure, and I think, you know, there was a lot of discussion about C9 having internal problems. Maybe, you know, one of the words used was apocalyptic if they were to lose really early. But you know what, though? I think C9, they have a lot to be proud of here. They had some hard-fought battles throughout this competition, but only as a unit are you truly able to overcome them. And for Cloud9, I do hope they consider that moving forward after the Overwatch Open.
I mean, they have the talent, right? They're just a few plays away from winning that last map, forcing EnVy to a Game 5.
Yeah, but EnVy, though, congratulations to them as they move on to the next round of this competition. Let's see how well this team can do. We'll see you in a few.